trans person while playing Pragmata. Ooh, I'm super excited for that. OMG. When it comes around to like pride and stuff like that, I talk about being asexual and being a lesbian, but also somewhat being attracted to Batman, and that was also the one of the ways that people who are heteronormative don't realize that they're gay is because they're like, oh well, I crush on like a fictional character, and so I like talking about that experience as a lesbian. And then I just also, asexuality is just sometimes when people are like talking about stuff, I'm just like, I have no idea what you guys are talking about. I have no interest in this.
Okay. Thanks for the raid from, let's see, what's her name, just to be safe here. Imminently. Whimsy Witch 15. It was so cool to hear you talk about your cat and your wife in Stardew Valley, and go check her out on Twitch. Definitely. I'm just getting my bearings in Pragmata again, because there is a very difficult puzzle. Okay. Alright. Thank you, ReadyBot. Let me just make sure I move the chat box a little bit so it doesn't get blocked by any game elements. There we go. Alright. When you're ready to accept, just type raid ready. Alright. Okay, so wait. I need to figure out okay, live chat. Alright, so how do I actually chat? Settings. That's Creator Studio. No. I'm not quite sure how to do this in Streamlabs because this is the first time I've ever had a chat message, really. I want to show Twitch chat instead. So, choose which chat in Twitch. Okay, well, let me... You know what? I don't want to take forever on this, because I'm about to go and get rated. So let's see. TV. My platform. Channel. Alright. And rated. So let's see. TV. Yeah, my platform. Oh. Channel. Alright. And rated, so let's see. Yeah, platform. Oh, okay, they made the disallowed announcements, but she knows, she has seen my channel. So I'm just gonna close out of the Twitch window, because that's, yeah. Alright, well, what I think I'll do, yeah, I don't know why I'm not allowed to, do Twitch instead of YouTube chat. That's the thing, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, that's, again, true. Whimsy does know that I'm live. For now, I'll just do some hacking to pull out this platform. This game is so freaking awesome. Like, the platforming feels good, the hacking feels amazing. Only thing is, I'm not quite sure how to get up there, because I think this is the last tower that I need to do. I need to get close in order to smash those rocks. Yeah, that's true. I just also like to do YouTube Live, so that I can then archive the video much more easily. By either downloading or just waiting for the live to process. Ah, crap. That's the only thing about this game! Oh gosh, okay. I can't really see the name here because it's very blue and tiny. Let me just, like, expand the size somehow of my chat box, please. Much better. Alright. So, choose which chat to have in your box Streamlabs. Customize chat sources. Okay. Alright, there we go. Chat box overlay. So navigate to the widgets tab. Tips and tricks. Shut down source. No. I'm literally learning this on the fly because I am very new to actually streaming and having a chat at all. So thank you so much. A follow is really appreciated. And also, let me try and show that I'm live, potentially, in the raid connect on Discord. So let's see. Mostly I use the lives as a way to quickly record things for my YouTube channel, which is where I post most of my content. And then I just like can timestamp it and stuff. And also have a recording as a backup because it is such a pain in the ass to lose chats. I have to lose lives. I have done that before. Thank you, Whimsy Witch! Huzzah! I really appreciate it. Okay. I wish I could be whimsical, but it's not quite that way. This is gonna be a very serious stream. Oh, thank you, Finn. I really appreciate you. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them, and if, you know, light-hearted topics are requested, I will go with that a little bit, but I mainly wrote a 10,000-word essay today in order to really get stuff off my chest about being trans in America right now. Because it is really, really hard. And that's going to be the majority of what I'm doing here today. Let me just actually connect my iPad to the internet. Because I typically like to read my scripts off of my iPad while I'm streaming or recording. Hello and welcome to HistoryFlights, your monthly-ish tour of contemporary, historical, and fictional politics with video games. And from Uniting the Cults and HistoryFlights Productions, it's the Hidden Faith, a truly independent and undefeated investigation of the Baha'i faith and related cults, such as the Fatimiyya Sufi order. Both DLCs for Islam that hide their condescension towards trans people, but judge us all the same. Now, I'm trying to think, where can I, like, get up there? Is there some sort of other switch I can hack that won't make me suck at this? Okay, I probably need to go back, quickly do this before the platforms proceed. Nope, that doesn't work. So that does jut it out a bit, though, which means I do need to do that. Okay, I think I get it now. But I'm just going to observe this platform while this is being hacked. Yep, okay, I see now. So it is a matter of timing. I just need to figure out a way to do the hacking thing before anything changes. I promise there will be more interesting combat gameplay later, and the unique hacking dynamic helps a lot with that. Oh, I get it now, I think. Alright. Aha! There we go! I've been so stuck on this part for so long, and now I can do it. Ah, but I just missed it. Anyway. Let me just get some water. Hang on. And ice, most importantly, because it is so hot in Washington, D.C., where I am. So incredibly annoying. Thanks to whoever that is who just popped up. Let me check in a second. Well, anyway. So yeah, I use my channel and video games to talk about serious topics. My most frequent show is Sunny Redemption Sailing, which I just did an episode of on Monday with my friend Kevin and co-host, talking about the Xbox layoffs. And I'm going live again tomorrow night with Direct Gaming, which is a channel that is a bit more console war-y than I am about the Xbox situation, and a bit more rah-rah sis boom ba about everything that Microsoft does in this reset when hundreds of people are being laid off. But he's agreed to have a respectful discussion, and I think it should be respectful, even if we disagree. So yeah. Anyway. I'm so happy to be part of Twitch Pride 2026, and thank you for the opportunity to share my story as a non-binary individual who is finally proud of who I am for the first time in my life, despite, or perhaps even in part, because of the persecution I've suffered for it, and the voice I've gained from HistoryFlights productions to roar against tyranny in videos like a 4-hour video essay on the presidents called America's Dangerous President Worship, an hour-long video on the Byzantine Empire called How the Roman Empire Went Down Fighting. Okay, there we go. Alright. And an ongoing investigation and exposure of the Baha'i faith cult and the monstrous sociopath known as wahidazal. I'll get to him later. But the role of these cultists in my life is unfortunately very important to the plot here. And the reason I picked Pragmata for today will become clear soon enough. I just need to get up here. Oh, that was close. Okay. Aha. No. Yes? No? Maybe so? Nope. Not quite. Not quite. Ah! Darn it. That's okay. In life, as in my transgender journey, I have constantly fallen down and gotten back up again. And so getting to connect with other queer community members, I believe Whimsy said that she, if I'm getting her pronouns right, if not, let me know, is asexual. So I completely respect that. I am the entire opposite. If you're a person, I usually like you. Anyway, I must sadly report that we trans folks are at war for our very existence as religion tries to delegitimize our history, and the President of the United States of America tries to genocide us. Meanwhile, trans people are being murdered casually by police every day. And I am collecting a lot of my past observations on transgender issues to make sure you know exactly who I am, what I stand for, and that I stand behind everyone in the queer community of the world, as I hope to join with you all in nonviolent solidarity to bring about a better world, one full of love, respect, and peace for everyone. I was born in May 1992 and just turned 34. I have had a lot of interesting moments in my early childhood that I struggle to explain, including being utterly fascinated by characters like Jasmine from Aladdin, Blossom from Powerpuff Girls, and Raven from Teen Titans. Even as from the age of 3 I was labeled by society as one thing, a boy, that had to fit in with the rules and become indistinguishable from peers, quote unquote, as an autistic kid in order to survive. I would never have gotten as far as I did without my parents, my nana, and my other family fighting for me, because I was born into an already hateful world that decided that I was broken from the beginning, that being autistic was something to fix, that my parents had to sue the state government to allow me to go to elementary school, and I had to fit in. I did attempt to, while blocking out almost all of kindergarten due to verbal abuse. Just try and see where... You know what? I think I see now. I have to do one more hack, potentially. Okay, that was close, but... not quite cigar. There we go. Okay, then. Wow, this is such a cool puzzle. No, genuinely. I usually suck at puzzles, but I can do decently with platforming puzzles. And now I can destroy the rocks here. This is just such a unique game. Full of variety here. Okay, so... I think there's supposed to be... Ah, there we are. I think I have to do one more hack from here. Aha! Victory is mine! Well. Skateboard. Nice.
I wonder what that is.
Sorry if the text is obscuring anything. It's very difficult to, you know, have that be part of my stream and not block something. But anyway. I tried to cast out the part of myself that I thought was diseased and broken, as I carried around a little green clipboard noting everything wrong with my day for a middle-aged woman who spent more time with me than my own mother some days to yell at me because I didn't have an instant answer for her about why I did the things I listed that were wrong. That's the thing with neurotypicals sometimes, is they expect you to come up with an answer in 0.5 seconds at most, and then get mad at you for not passing their invisible test. So stupid. Like, can't you be a little bit more patient, please? My brain does not work at your speed. But when it does, it's usually very precise. Anyway. I feel like there has to be a way to get over there, but I am not finding it at the moment. Seems like I'm supposed to do something over there. Like it has to have a way up and down there, but anyway. This was the wrong with myself that wanted to roar like a dinosaur on the playground. The wrong with myself that drew a gigantic food web in first grade with so many lines other people couldn't understand it. The wrong with myself that stepped on other kids' shoes without thinking in Little League and then felt horrified and hated myself for being stupid. The wrong with myself that went into the girls' bathroom without thinking when I was 5. That didn't care about playing with adults alongside action figures with my sister. That felt deep, intense connections with fictional characters of all genres and genders. The wrong with myself that merged all that together into a void where I buried everything deep down. Even if my parents didn't emphasize gender, their neurotypical minds were not built to question social rules. And to this day are still trapped by the systemic frameworks they've lived their entire lives of hard work equals reward, without considering how our economy is currently rigged to benefit the rich in a new golden age. Quote-unquote, but rather Gilded Age. They still made me wear suits, even as I was chased in my dreams by a man with the head of a pterosaur that I formed from the painting of a man and a woman embracing. Particularly, Pygmalion and Galatea, from 1890 by Jean-Léon Gérôme. And just see, I feel like this has to be the way out of here. Business district. Might just get out of here, period.
So you like cats? Is that why you chased after one?
Yeah, I like everything I've never seen before.
Maybe
Aw,
like
adorable kid.
isn't the right word.
Okay.
Interesting.
That's just the way I
Like
came. Duh.
is something that comes after you know a thing.
They're different?
A bit. But it's fine. Keep stacking up your likes.
Okay.
Best video game dad ever, honestly. That's part of the reason why I'm so invested in the story. Aha, a red key, a red zone. Okay. I gotta turn on my AC for a second because it's so freaking hot. It's only 73 degrees technically, but it is so humid here. And then it'll get super cold and I'll have to swing back and forth like that. And I constantly wake up with dry throat in the morning because of that. Either it's too warm and I get dry mouth because of that, or it's too cold and I get dry mouth because of that. Ugh, whatever. Okay, well. So my parents' response when I told them about the evil statue that chased me from this painting was to move it upstairs out of sight. It wasn't necessarily wrong of them to do that, but they were raised in the 60s when children were seen and not heard, so did not interrogate why I was feeling this way, only that it was yet another problem to be solved. And still oftentimes they do not have the capacity to understand my emotions beyond trying to give occasionally repetitive advice for the immediate upset. Plus I was 8. Still, I subconsciously buried my gender clues as if I could cast them off onto an ugly painting like Dorian Gray, and wore 1,000 masks that kids just love to punch for all sorts of perceived wrongness, such as being pantsed in high school in front of a dozen people, being avoided by all my high school ex-girlfriend's friends that I genuinely just wanted to be friends with when she dumped me, because I didn't understand the unwritten rule against friendship with a friend's ex, and sounding or acting like a girl, whatever the fuck that means, because gender is a play and we're all doing improv. Speaking of improv, time to... Okay, I need to move this chat. Definitely, or I'm not going to be able to see the hacking panel. I can kind of see the... Let's see what that's like. Oh, I need to grant additional permissions to send Twitch messages. Authorize. Okay. There we go. Testing! Huzzah! Alright. Just... Okay, well, it does it twice for some reason, but I don't care. I finally have access to that. Huzzah! Alright.
Skittering around.
Oh boy. Let's see if I can maybe shrink it a bit.
Here it comes! Look out!
Okay. Time to fight!
Pick it up.
Oh crap.
Be careful! Yeah!
Oh crap. Crap! I gotta get out of here.
Here it comes! Look out!
Gotta heal up a little bit.
Be careful!
I really like the decoy generator.
Jump, you!
Time to blow you up with a not grenade launcher.
Stop skittering around.
Oh wow, that insta killed him. Nice. Crap. That's a real weakness. Oh boy. Alrighty. Alright, time to get the shockwave gun. Really need that. Okay, let me use my riot blaster like a lot because I have the ammo for it.
Take this.
Eat finishing move. Crap.
Yeah, so. Take that.
Get wrecked. Right on. Oh boy. I hate these guys so much. Decoy time. Oh. Each shockwave.
Take this.
Indeed. Oh man, this is tough. Oh, he's blocking my hacking. Got it. Well, you got blocked by boxes, but oh crap, I forgot. Ah! Oh, nice interrupt there.
Right on. Get some.
Nope.
It's on now. Take this.
Phew!
Thank you.
This game is so amazing! I love every minute that I've played of it. Even the parts where I've had some challenges at times. So it's not super hard, it's just tricky. That's all. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna re up my health a little bit, I think. Somebody gave me a message, but I don't know who right now. I want to show Twitch primarily, that's the thing, isn't it? It might be that I got followed, but when did they give me a message about that? I'm not sure. Huh. Oh, there's the rewards.
Ooh, shiny.
Pocket refinery, nice. So Luna filament is the blue stuff. That's promotion on what now? Again, it's with the blue text. It's hard to read. So let me try and get against the wall so I can do that. Huh. Okay, well, hopefully that's not spam. It feels a little spammy, but who am I to judge, I guess? Nice. Upgrade components. All the upgrades I need are like level 3 of these. Like I have to use 3 at a time now. But hey, that's better than 1. Alright. Hoping this is a nice shortcut to the next area that I need in order to complete the... Aha! That doesn't appear to be anything I can do anything about. So that just was a neat little secret with what I needed. Cool. Okay. That's just a lot of Luna filament. Not gonna complain about that though. I don't think they regenerate either, unlike the enemies. Because this is very Dark Souls-like. Okay. More decoy generator, never a bad thing. A massive amount of Luna filament. Appreciate that.
Ooh, what's that weird stuff?
Aha! I now have 4 repair
This should
cartridges.
help keep going.
Well, I don't have them, but I can carry them once I get back to the shelter. That is very, very helpful. For sure.
There.
Okay. Yeah, this definitely looks important. And I now have access to the shelter again. Unless I've been here before. I mean, this seems new, but...
So what's next after work finishes on
Yeah, no, I remember this audio log.
Well, I've been thinking maybe something with a bit
I just have one more gate to finish and then, like, move on to the next hub, it seems. But, it's very intuitive and interesting to figure out. So, while I'm heading back to the shelter with some of the best music I've heard in video games
Back
lately.
here again. Safe and snug. Getting nutrients from talking? That's so weird.
So there was an earlier moment in the game where Diana was like, why do humans need to eat more than once a day? And Hugh tried to explain the concept of people using meals as a way to share how they're doing and get nourishment that way. But being that she's a tiny little neurodivergent robot, because aren't all robot characters neurodivergent coded? Let me just give her the skateboard. There's not only a few real Earth memories, I guess you can call them,
It's a board
left.
with wheels. Am I supposed to ride it?
Okay. Yeah, probably. You do. Ride it.
Getting nutrients from top. What happens if the nutrients aren't enough?
You'd probably feel lonely or just uneasy. Might even start losing faith in yourself.
Could you get sick?
Some do, yeah. But everyone's different.
Well, I've got you to talk to, so I'll probably be fine.
Yeah, it is important to have lots of people to talk to.
You're gonna love it. Thanks for everything. So, do you like it?
It's, that cat again.
I drew lots, but this one turned out the best. So,
It's
I'm giving it
gigantic.
to you.
Hey, it's actually pretty good. Shows you're a real cat lover.
Oh, these two are so adorable. Is it a little bit fast for him to trust a robot girl? But yes, but she's so adorable. I don't care. Anyway, so back to my essay. Oh, that's okay. I don't need outfits anyway. I can just go with this Dead Space looking one that looks really cool. Max, I really do like the decoy generator a lot. This is also very good. Yeah, I've maxed out a lot of things actually, which is interesting. Definitely want to upgrade my health for sure. And then I'll get back to my essay. This is part of the reason why I picked this game, so that the safe area could allow me to do that without being bothered by the gameplay. Lockout controls. Manually unlock system, eh? So there's an entire other area then. Oh yeah, the cabin coin system with the adorable little cabin robot. Let me just move this again. Okay. I've almost unlocked all the stamp coins.
An impeccable choice.
Skirmisher mod. Interesting. I gotta equip my
hope you
mods
enjoy
before I
your
head out there
purchase.
again, but for now, I am just going to talk a little bit about
There it is.
the first... Oh. You're just so cute with all the little dialogues you have that you keep interrupting my train of thought.
I'll learn more about the Cradle's bots with this.
Wasn't exactly dying to find out.
What? Really? But you're always like, what the hell is this?
Oh gosh!
Interested.
I'm such a bad influence on my daughter with all the cursing! Anyway. Oh wow, yeah. Definitely need to check that out. I mean, the story's not that hard to follow. It's evil robot does an uprising on the moon and tries to take over. Slide, basketball, skateboard. I just have 2 more left then. At least in this area. Maybe there will be others that are unlocked later. But anyway. I remember the first explicitly trans character I really latched onto as representation of a kind was Alexis Meade from the TV show Ugly Betty. That is a problematic fave, but to quote the Ugly Betty wiki, Alex Meade was a background presence in the series since its debut. The former editor-in-chief of Hudson magazine, She was believed dead by the world at large. Her example as an editor was held over Daniel Meade's head by her father, Bradford Meade, and her death cast a pall. Oh. What is it, little one?
Oh, that reminds me. Diana, everything we print from the REM replicator is yours.
Really? Everything?
Yeah.
Aw.
Seen all this stuff before anyways. Can't have too many toys, right?
Toys. I've never had toys.
Oh boy.
Thanks, Hugh.
That reminds me of how excited my son was to get an old iPad mini from me. But anyway. Okay. So, Alexis Meade appeared repeatedly since the first episode, swaddled in bandages. She had been conspiring with Wilhelmina Slater to take over Mode magazine from Daniel. She had also been actively trying to implicate Bradford in the death of former Mode editor-in-chief Faye Summers. Dialogue between Alexis and Wilhelmina fueled speculation that the mysterious bandaged woman was Summers. In the January 18th, 2007, episode, In or Out, Daniel told Betty Suarez that Alex had been killed in a skiing accident. In the final moment of the episode, Wilhelmina told the mysterious bandaged woman, now out of her bandages, that her skiing accident had done her a world of good, and called her Alex Meade. The woman corrected Wilhelmina, advising that she was Alexis now.
Let me show you how this works.
Alright. You go. Aw. Oh, I used to love globes too. Always fun to spin them. Anyway, back to what I was saying while my daughter plays. So yeah, the woman corrected Wilhelmina, advising that she was Alexis now. Alexis attending Fashion Week in the episode I'm Coming Out. I think that's a seek from the wiki. After initially flirting with Daniel, she told him her true identity, kinda you, explaining that she had felt from a very young age that she was in, quote, the wrong skin. This revelation put Daniel in a state of shock. Wilhelmina insinuated Alexis into the Mode up-and-coming designers fashion show. Following the show, Bradford began a speech, but Alexis interrupted him, announcing her former identity as Alex moments before police arrested Bradford for the murder of Faye Summers. Rebeccaromijn, who I also love as the original Mystique from the X-Men movies, and hope I didn't butcher the pronunciation of. What a surprise that a shape-shifting character was formative for me. And as Eve Baird from The Librarians, seriously underrated show, everyone. Please go watch it. Was very upfront about the problems with playing Alexis and the circumstances at the time. Quote, the executives at the time didn't love the idea of the character, she told The Independent. There was a real boys club running the show behind the scenes at that point, so to try to make it palatable to the boys club, they pitched me, and I jumped at the chance. In the article on that from Metro, she also, quote, has stressed she wouldn't play a trans character today looking back at the role through a 2023 lens. And, quote, even if she wouldn't accept the role now, Rebecca added that she felt the part helped open doors for the trans community. I'd like to think that anyway, she said. I don't want to pat myself on the back too much. It's characters and stories like this, a great amount of female role models in my life like my nana, mom, and aunts, a non-emphasis on gender in playing with toys with my sister. One time, G.I. Joe took Barbie on a date while riding a T-Rex, as well as playing video games in college and shortly thereafter, like Borderlands, where I was flirted with and my voice called pretty. Bioshock 2, which caused me to change a forum avatar to Eleanor Lamb without thinking. Destiny, where I created a hunter named Annika. Life is Strange, where I deeply empathized with Max Caulfield. And Sunset Overdrive, where I played a masked woman that gave me the space to freely explore my thoughts and feelings. That was even as I told myself I was only doing it as research into how to write female characters better. That was true, as there can be multiple motivations for that kind of thing. But I remember doing a ton of research into trans timelines when I created a transgender love interest for my college-age detective Annika named Jamie. At the time, I leaned into the whole shock factor of such a discovery, and I regret that, but it was my first novel after No, it was my second novel because I had originally written a novel at 16 or so about all adults disappearing, called Kid World, but this was my first real novel in my head when I wrote this, because it was attempting to deal with serious themes more appropriately and less like a action movie, you know, because I had a lot of action scenes and melodrama in Kid World. But anyway, there weren't a lot of representations of transgender people at the time that didn't lean into that kind of shocking reveal. Quit mods. Nice. I don't normally get below 20%, so that should be okay. Yeah, I like to down enemies for sure, so that's really nice. Still mods. Equipped hacking nodes, okay. Why do I have 3 of these? Why do I have 2 of these 3 decode modules? Freezing. Yeah, I like that. Let's do that. Time to ride the tram, too. Cycling control. This seems like the next place I have to go to get to the last gate. Okay. At the same time, I explored the Baha'i faith as the last chance I ever gave religion, because the girl who I would date for 11 years and marry for 6 introduced me to it. The Baha'is preached gender and racial equality and seemed nice enough, even as I felt a little creeped out by just how happy they were all the time. I have a whole 8 episodes on my playlist explaining my beefs with the Baha'i faith, but it's a spin-off of Babism, which is in itself a spin-off of Islam that emerged in 1844 and was swallowed by its intellectual progeny in the 1860s when Baha'u'llah declared himself the next manifestation of God. Let me just think. There's gotta be a better way to indicate where I'm supposed to be going. That is not it, is it? Okay. Looks like I gotta fight. Unless... Never mind. Likely story.
Look out for its targeting sensor.
Back off!
Okay, now that you're dealt with. Oh, right, I forgot this guy's here, too. Alright, almost got you. Crap, reloading. Oh boy! That was so close. At least I have 4 healing canisters, but I could be out for quite a while here, so...
It's my turn. Yes.
Alright, finishing. So yeah, while this cult preached independent investigation of truth, it was really more like independent investigation to get to the conclusion that we've drawn already. And an Animal Farm style creed that said that all religions are equal, but some are more equal than others. I did not find true peace looking through the Baha'i faith. On a macro scale, they don't actually practice it.
Look how Prince Carson does. Yeah!
She'll leave me alone, robot. Thank you. Oh. It's just regenerated? Huh. Okay.
That mob lets me practice farther away.
It seems to want me to go over there. That's for sure, so... Unless that was a marker I put myself and I'm an idiot. Which, I tend to be an idiot in navigating. In video games sometimes, so... Well, before I continue... My historian brain will never let me accept infallibility claims, and because of autism, I don't have the ability to compartmentalize the way that a history professor of mine did in separating the beliefs she held on Sunday from her lectures on real Christian history that didn't fit that narrative. Or to envision a god. It wouldn't have been a good fit anyway because of my activism, pansexuality, polyamory, and transgender identity. That eventually led me to finally accept that I was an atheist. For instance, Baha'u'llah's son Abdul Baha had mentioned on page 71 of his book Baha'u'llah in the New Era, to be a Baha'i simply means to love all the world, to love humanity and try to serve it, to work for universal peace and universal brotherhood, and people were therefore understandably calling themselves Baha'i Christians, Baha'i Jews, etc. Other people he impressed when he visited the US included the creator of Esperanto, Dr. L.L. Zamenhof, and gatherings of feminists such who would never have gotten a hearing from their religious leaders, even as he told them, sorry, no girls allowed in the houses of justice. Shoghi Effendi, his great-nephew, who expelled his entire family when they disagreed with his power claims, instead called the latter group ardent in a snide way in a letter for questioning the Baha'i principle of equality of men and women.
Get ready.
When women couldn't and still can't be on the Universal House of Justice.
Right back at ya.
Guess it's my turn. Couple fun.
This looks fun.
Crap, I'm falling to the ground. Oh dear. To this day,
Look out!
hyphen Baha'is, as opposed to minority Baha'is they call covenant breakers, or LGBTQ Baha'is kicked out like LGBTQ Baha'i experience was for having a gay marriage. Hand wave this away for their own peace. This isn't because it hasn't been This is because it hasn't been explained, but the reason will become clear as the midday sun. And generally the message has been, thanks, Direct Gaming. Good to hear from you.
Stop skittering around.
You know, if you don't like it and have joined, keep quiet or leave. And if you don't like it and are not a member, then tough, we have our standards. Get wrecked. Nice. Okay. Now I really gotta figure out, though, where I'm supposed to be going. Anyway. Many people do leave the Baha'i faith, either voluntarily or after being disenrolled, for various tiny things like getting married without saying, "Verily we will abide by the will of God." Hence the subtle pressure from my mother-in-law at the time when I got married in 2017 to accept that in order to not harm my Baha'i wife's standing in the community, because they punish anyone who is the Baha'i spouse in a marriage they don't like with removal of their voting rights. And she probably didn't care because she wasn't very active at the time in the religion. But I still didn't want to cause any friction. I'm not someone who does that regularly. I'm a peacekeeper by heart. And so, yeah, I compromised my integrity for nearly a decade. Before speaking out about it. I kept my mouth shut about it when perhaps speaking out would have saved everyone a lot of trouble later. And I also was disturbed by their, insistence that transgender people had the appearance of homosexuality, and so were not allowed either to fully express themselves.
There's another beacon. I bet Edith is down there too.
Okay, so I finally know where the next beacon is. But how to get there is the question. Anyway. So, they do technically accept trans people, but only if they get HRT, surgery, ID changes, the whole 9 yards. Which I'm not sure I, as a non-binary person, will ever want or need, even though I wear inserts, shave, and wear a mask out in public to feel gender euphoria sometimes. Hence the trans femme part of trans femme non-binary in my identity. Again, the Baha'is lie about accepting trans rights, though, because they don't have any way for people to be non-binary, since they only believe in 2 genders based on outdated science. On February 4th, 2021, the UHG affirmed that the Baha'i writings affirm the generally held perspective that there are 2 sexes, male and female. This is, of course, not in conformity with some recent social theories that divide gender into multiple types. While there are many complexities surrounding the biological issues pertaining to sex and the social issues pertaining to gender, the Baha'i writings generally affirm the held perspective. This includes on cross-dressing. This is part of the appearance of homosexuality quote I mentioned earlier, though when I originally wrote this, did not say that correctly. Quote, the local spiritual assembly also expresses concern about his current behavior, which gives the impression of homosexuality, and thus places in question the morality of his having roommates of either sex, no matter what stage the sex change procedure has reached. An example is his dressing as a woman while still, apparently, being a man. Such actions could well be regarded as giving the appearance of immoral behavior and as having the potential for bringing the community into disrepute. So, essentially, they claim not to pry into your private life, but then it's all about fucking PR for them. Again, it's gross. And the kinds of changes that they would need in order to accept that are often prohibitively difficult and expensive for people.
I can't really write it, but it's fun.
Then, quote, if a person does undergo the medical procedures required to change his or her sex, and this change of sex has been legally recognized, the spiritual, moral, and legal prerogatives and obligations relevant to that sex would apply, and marriage to a person of the opposite sex would be permissible. Heteronormity reigns fucking supreme in the Baha'i faith, and all others have to be celibate or leave. While it's obviously not outright prohibited, because Shoghi Effendi, some old asshole who called homosexuality a handicap, despite likely being a closeted man himself, died in the 50s before getting around to prohibiting it, you're also encouraged to, quote, pray on it. A Baha'i considering a change of sex is advised to carefully and prayerfully weigh the medical opinion received in the light of Baha'u'llah's teachings, and not be swayed by contemporary notions that regard gender as something to be altered as a matter of personal preference or intuition. In addition to considering the medical factors, the believer would wish to reflect on how perception of the issue has been influenced by powerful contemporary forces affecting society. Most importantly, the believer ought to take into account the spiritual teachings bearing on such a decision. These relate to such matters as the purpose of life, the twofold nature of human beings, the soul's lack of gender, and the role of tests in an individual's spiritual development. Oh, give me a fucking break! Like, what God would torture people like this? Would test them with this kind of hatred and exclusion related to wanting to have a different gender than the one they were born with and assigned when they were a baby? How fucking cruel this God must be to demand such. Depending on circumstances, the quote continues, how best may one consideration of relevant spiritual teachings might come questions such as the following. How best may one fulfill the spiritual purpose of life? Will one's spiritual happiness result from the material solution of its sex change? Again, fucking barf. Or might one be pursuing a chimera, which will result in a new set of problems? Is it possible to view the challenge of gender identity as a test that one can come to grips with and manage? No! That is not how that works! Huh. Check in. I thought I did, but I think I can now. Okay, yeah, I really thought I was checked in already, but apparently not. So weird. Anyway, back to it. And then lastly, what will be the impact of such a decision on one's family members, including any spouse or children? Ugh. Enough with the emotional blackmail and passive aggression, you fucking cultists. If it's the last thing I do, the Baha'i faith will answer one day for its passive-aggressive actions that its mainstream image as a happy-little-go-lucky group of nice, peaceful people has allowed them to get away with for too long. For spying on and censoring its members, for attacking minority Baha'i denominations in service of a false, imperialistic unity they want to impose on everyone in a world theocracy after writing out an apocalyptic calamity. For not giving to the poor while embezzling money and collecting money for a secretive fund from you either voluntarily or after you die through subtle pressure. To spend on lavish temples that are empty. For pushing gay people who refuse to be celibate forever and non-binary trans people out. For lying to atheists and Hindu alike about marriage vows and black and aboriginal people about children's classes. And most importantly, for covering up sexual abuse, such as the sexual harassment of Justin Baldoni against Blake Lively, with money, and sweeping their sweetheart deal with Israel that allowed them to profit from the Nakba under the flower beds of Haifa with aloof letters that do nothing about genocide. Anyway. On or around Valentine's Day 2022, two things happened. The first was that I wept while playing May from It Takes Two. Her solo at the end is so good, all my folks. Go watch it. Meanwhile, my amazing co-op partner Kevin supported me. He's also the co-host of my gaming news show, Sunny Redemption Sailing. your biweekly voyage for BS Free Gaming News that recently criticized the layoffs at Microsoft. So I would appreciate a like and subscribe if you might enjoy that on my YouTube channel. Then after feeling stunned at how different my body felt when I tried on women's clothing for the first time that same week, I made this post on Reddit entitled, I am starting to wonder whether I've been genderqueer. I, lately, have been grappling with a lot of things. The pandemic, working from home, systemic discrimination against autistic people, and how that relates or doesn't to other struggles, writing a novel, things like that. Then I noticed I tend to write as women a lot. I remember incidents when I was younger of being told I had a girly voice on online multiplayer, of being told not to do silly stuff by ABA instructors, of having a mostly girl space friends, of spending all my Fridays out to movies and restaurants with my middle-aged female paraprofessional in middle school and high school, all of which felt like homework, and then later on in life being robbed, being sexually harassed by a man over the phone, a lot of stuff. Through it all, I was convinced I was a straight cisgender man, and I mostly do feel like a man. There's just been a lot of women I've written as POV characters in various short story drafts and even a novel, all of which feel fully formed when they appear in my brain, and a whole legion of female custom characters in video games. Intrusive thoughts of wearing sundresses over my male clothing for Halloween. A lot of these things keep building up. And then some buried emotion from the past came back and made me realize, maybe being genderqueer explains a lot. I need to go to therapy, and it's too early to tell where I am from man who wants to wear dresses to call me why now sometimes. I, as a sensitive man with deep emotions, know I need therapy anyway to manage tough anxieties, so I might as well talk through it. If only you knew where I would end up past me. Anyway, time to ride the tram again. Oh, no. Let's see. Aha, hacking notes. Okay. Let's go ride the tram. The problem with this game is that it's kind of difficult to know exactly where the objectives are. So maybe there's like a setting that I can turn on to just do a big dumb idiot arrow. Let's see. Options. I need to move that around a little. At least for now. Okay, hang on. Let me get back to my projector and accessibility. No. No. Controls, no. Did I have aim assist off the entire time? That's interesting. Huh. It didn't feel too bad, but that will be helpful for sure. No. Status. Hack the beacons, one left. Okay. Okay, so that's the way I came last time, though. I gotta find the different, gate that I came out of. Okay, I'm starting to get a better understanding here, for sure. Alright. I have everything I need, so... Maybe I don't need a larger health pool because I typically like to avoid damage. And I have 4 healing items, so... I like to keep the shockwave gun. It's basically a shotgun, and I love shotguns in video games. I think this is it. Alright. Let me just move this back for the inevitable hacking sequence. Okay, so the next beacon did call out to me from there. It's just... Do I need to go downstairs? Seems like maybe I do. Well, that's the way I came, isn't it? Big, Well, that seems like the logical way to go, but I have no idea now. Oh! Okay. This is new. For some reason, I just sort of assumed it would go back down, but I think I'm at the objective, and it doesn't seem like there are enemies who are about to attack me, so... Oh, you know what? There's the beacon. I probably need to unlock this first and then... Or... Well, I'll figure it out later. Because for the first 2 weeks after I started wearing women's clothing, my Baha'i then wife gave me the silent treatment. I wasn't perfect in that relationship, as I sometimes snapped at her. But she usually shut down, blamed my parents for everything, which drove a wedge between me and them, or threw a temper tantrum to get her way. This was different. Just the coldest of shoulders, followed by an attempt mostly by me to still salvage the relationship by bending over backwards. While she couldn't muster up more than a page in her diary reminiscing on our romantic timeline, mostly patting herself on the back and calling herself that bitch for breaking up with someone else over text a week before we started dating. This was also the same woman who called herself cunning and manipulative, according to my mother at her bridal shower. Why I went through with the wedding, I will never know. By April 2022, when we went to her friend's wedding in Austin, Texas, she didn't want to share the same bed as me, and complained about how I was being so unreasonable towards her by asking politely if I could come out to her parents first, because I thought that my parents would be supportive, but I was just scared to figure out what that was going to be like, and I thought, you know, they don't know me as much, so it'll be easier emotionally for all of us. However, I was concerned at the time that her sharing a room with her other girlfriends, when she later admitted she was cheating on me with other women, I had an emotional attraction to someone else at the time too, that I asked to open the marriage for, and when she rejected that, she carried on behind my back and only told me when we were in name only, would arouse suspicion. Since there was only one bed, we had a pretty heated debate about who would get the chair, so I finally exploded, "You sleep on the chair then!" in the middle of the woods at night in Austin. It was the first time in my life that I was done being verbally abused, done being her servant, done being anyone but myself. Still, when she walked away, I nearly twisted my ankle chasing after her because I am nothing if not loyal. And we had a good laugh about that when she expressed genuine concern. In hindsight, I wish that hadn't happened and that we had decided to get a divorce, because she gaslit me from the very beginning in so many ways. I get not being attracted to someone's gender, but she could have been much more honest about that and about her bisexuality with me. Rather than stringing me along because I paid half the rent, and even for the parts of life she did pay for, managed it on her behalf because, while she had ADHD, and so some of this is understandable, she could barely care for herself, and I suspect her parents were eager to foist her on me. We still tried to stay together until October 22nd, 2022, 11 years and 11 days after we started dating. Having lost her job for the 4th time and been subsidized by her parents, she notably waited until after our lease agreement renewed and we both signed on for another year to discuss with me that it was over. Then she pleaded with me to still be married on paper while we did whatever we wanted, so she could still have my federal health insurance. After 2 weeks away from her around Christmas and New Year's, I had a meltdown on New Year's Day in the bathroom of a Buffalo Wild Wings after seeing Avatar: The Way of Water in IMAX, while admittedly very drunk, at the thought of sharing the same air as that conniving woman. So a friend of mine helped me collect my things, including my Xbox for some reason, to drop me off at the house of the other friend I had feelings for. Finally, she bailed on our lease in July 2023, forcing me to break it to the tune of $4,000, which ruined my savings. Finally signed the divorce in September 23, and got full custody of our cat, Odessa. I tried to remain friends with her through it to have visitation, which is an odd thing to say, I know, but I really loved that cat. However, when the cat I had gotten for us after being mugged in 2019 didn't recognize me, that was the final straw, and I said this in 2024. Okay, unlock that. Nice. Final gate.
We did it!
You're doing great, Diana.
Oh, you're doing great, Hugh.
Thank you.
Proceed through the massive gate, but first. To my ex-wife, I said, "Hey, so this is the last text I'll ever send you. I thought I could try to be friends with you and get past the years of verbal abuse you laid against me, the evasions of any responsibility for anything that happened. You're dividing me against my family, though they aren't perfect either. Your bare minimum support of my gender identity and your emotional affairs with other women." And let's see, I forgot to write this down. So, yeah, I wrote this script pretty hastily today. Sorry about that. Thank you for still tuning in. I really appreciate all the new followers and stuff. Okay, I think. Yeah. No, that's what I wrote down. Baha'is blather on and on about the fortress of marriage, and that's what she did. Fired on anyone outside and kept me in. Meanwhile, I tried to care for our marriage like a living thing, and I had to be the one to put it down because she was still just coasting off of my belief in marriage. But it was mortally wounded by her insecurities and inability to handle conflict appropriately, either by getting angry or by shrinking away. From these characteristics, one may correctly diagnose the problem with a Baha'i upbringing, but a complex web of factors also played a role. Awesome. Full bridge. Yay.
Now it's here, Heidi.
My what?
Like something out of an amusement park here.
Where?
I'll tell you later.
Uh-huh. Then I told her mom, "Now that I've blocked your treacherous daughter once and for all, it's your turn. Thank you not at all for deciding how to cash checks without consulting me, since I was nervous about getting a joint checking account, and pressuring me into signing a vow that I didn't believe in for a cult that will amount to nothing. Goodbye forever." The check thing wasn't embezzling, though. because my ex turned around and used that money to pay off my student loans and some credit card debt. Then of course lorded it and her moving to Maryland in 2015 over me like she was somehow better with money, and that I owed her for the rest of my life for these things. I'm just glad I never reproduced with that bitch. Anyway. After the inauguration of that foul slime Donald Trump, I will give her credit. She did at least send a nice letter expressing concern about how this might affect my gender identity going forward, and hoping I could use my voice to help people. This was my response on February 9th, 2025. I got your letter. I do want you to know that I appreciated the gesture. It reminded me of why we got along in the first place. To be honest, I've been in tension for a while, and that tension is at an all-time high now that CFPB's headquarters has been closed for this coming week and is being run by Mr. Project 2025 himself, Russell Vogt, someone who has repeatedly insulted transgender people and wants to throw us in jail. This claws at the very core of who I am, since I think the Constitution and American political ideals are about as close to a religion as I'll ever have since I was 5. However, while it may feel like Trump and Trumpism is invincible, politics is always on a pendulum, and the bigger the swing in one direction, the greater the swing back. That doesn't mean that people won't get senselessly hurt, but his constant barrage of diarrhea, which works so well when he's out of power, will create opportunities for Democrats just as happened in the 2018 and 2020 elections. I'd be more worried about a dictatorship if someone with Trump's charisma was younger and didn't have such a coalition of idiots. In the meantime, I'm not waiting idly by, like when I doom-scrolled hoping Robert Mueller or Biden would save us. Let me just grab this. Nice. I rewatched The Sound of Music, which is more relevant than ever in its 60th anniversary, and watched Wicked the movie with my mom, which was great. I'm currently reading Stay With Me by Ayobami Adebayo, which was my favorite book of 2025, by the way, and finding resilience in it. I may not have a lot of friends who come by in DC anymore, but I go to open mics monthly and I still do Sunny Redemption Sailing bi-weekly with Kevin. I have met the love of my life in Swaziland, and I'm going to hold her and her 9-year-old son, who just started 4th grade, in my arms one day. Most importantly, I'm working on a steampunk fantasy political thriller called The Wind Empress Darkblight, that I have now renamed The Wind Empress in Their Majesty's Service. About a non-binary femme empress called Andrel, a brilliant airship and airplane commander who loses their father and older brother in battle, and has to work with their ex-best friend from the enemy nation, Ganibe, and their boyfriend, Yusuf, to make a lasting peace. I hope it will speak to the difficulty of resolution in any conflict, and that this cover I commissioned, which I will include in the Substack version of the script at HistoryFlightsProductions.substack.com. Please be sure to subscribe there too. Will help attract people to it when it comes out in 2026 on all ebook, Seek, and I'm also now delaying it to 2027. If you would like to purchase it at that time, you are free to do so. This is not, however, a reopening of communication, as I find it difficult to let go of the pain you, your family, and the Baha'i faith caused me. But I'm channeling my complicated relationship with the Baha'i faith into a polemical podcast. So I will be blocking you again after this, and request that you only refer any information you would like to share to state to me, such as health emergencies with your parents or Odessa dying, through Kevin. When we are dust, all that remains is the voice of history, or rather many voices, creating a chaotic, terrifying, and beautiful melody. Mine will not be silent. Goodbye. Let me just unlock the station, I believe, to get to the shelter. Definitely. Because I need to mentally regroup for a second. It only gets harder to relate from here. By this time, I had also been attacked 3 times in person. First with orange soda in August 2022. Next at the mall at Prince George's, close to where I and my ex used to live in summer 2023. And most heinously by 2 black teenagers who chased me onto the metro on July 28th, 2024. However, I had also gained a platform with my channel, HistoryFlights Productions, and I thundered against the transphobia in the world after the murder of nexbenedict, with the first talking frankly about being trans on March 21st, 2024. This was a live-streamed gaming session of Borderlands while sharing personal reflections on my experiences, identity, and political concerns as a transgender person. There, I discussed my journey of coming out and discovering my identity, noting how playing female characters in video games like Lilith and Borderlands served as an early form of self-exploration, highlighting how the game helped me through challenging times in college and continues to provide a space for meditation and expression. I expressed that while being trans in the current climate can feel frightening, it is also invigorating to speak openly. I emphasize the importance of protecting the trans community and advocated for political participation, specifically urging viewers at the time to vote to protect civil rights in the Constitution. Which, did anyone listen? Clearly many people did, but then people decided to vote in fascism over the price of eggs, or sat out because Democrats weren't perfect on foreign policy. I also spoke out against rhetoric that targets the LGBTQ+ community, mentioning the tragedy of nexbenedict as a motivation for my activism. Ever since then, Lanessa Rodriguez, Nathaniel Potts, and Marlo Trotti, among others, have been killed by the police in their communities. The president has illegally stopped non-binary people from getting X passports, so I had to put M on my passport that is renewed through 2035. And then delayed their applications into infinity even after that was blocked. Tried to force trans women into men's prisons, which has also been blocked. Tried to get rid of trans people in the military, which I hate so much, and again was also blocked. I could be here all night talking about the hateful things the president has done. The play of these modern day vandals, though, is violate rights and then make them sue us, because it's expensive and now the Supreme Court is giving them an assist. But that's why you should donate to legal aid groups and non-profits like the ACLU. What is this over here? I'll take an upgrade to the multi-hack anyway. Because Hollywood is still very unused to writing diversity, and so oftentimes put in bare minimum effort, they also decided to paint any legitimate criticism in with racist or sexist backlash to protect that of their movies. Now the media oligarchs are already walking all the inclusivity back. To cut costs, cancel any mention of the word trans to avoid legal racketeering of the kind. Taco pulled on the Skydance and Paramount merger to muzzle CBS for a single interview that personally offended the king, and go for boring, safe, all audiences entertainment again to actually make money on their streaming services. I called this the MasterCard Pride Effect last year. Or, well, yeah, two years ago now, actually. After how I was revolted by seeing such a corporate float in my first DC Pride parade in 2024. But it's clear Disney never really had our backs either if people weren't paying attention to 6-second gay kisses getting censored overseas. I feel even more disgusted that MasterCard didn't even pretend with Pride anymore, for fear of backlash from the Taco administration. In this same avalanche of awful, I'm alarmed by even the suggestion of the resumption of efforts to create an autism registry, with RFK taking over the special education part of the Department of Education. More so for my high support needs Vietnamese cousin rather than myself. Yet as someone silenced for my whole life by ABA counselors, I had to speak out about it, and I'm speaking out about it again. And then on top of that, trans civil rights are constantly being expended in court because we're politically inconvenient to the DNC establishment, who sidestepped when the blatantly transphobic and untrue Kamala's for they, them smear ads appeared on national television. Seeing that during the World Series made me delirious with rage that year. However, Scrimetti and other court cases are just one expected setback on a road of them, as red states turn us into punching bags while vigilante cis women violate privacy rights in the very stalls they claim to be protecting, with no evidence of wide-scale crimes by trans people. So to a hypothetical scared trans teenager wondering what's next, my thought is, if you're going to be pushed one step back, you might as well walk 2 steps forward. Even if you must shave until your face hurts. And wear inserts to be taken seriously, even if you must wait until you're an adult to make these choices. And in the meantime, please don't kill yourself. We can make gains even still and constantly strive to do so. Being ourselves and staying visible is how we'll survive. They cannot erase us if we refuse to take violations lying down. Just like how the amazing Queens bombed Taco's incredibly ironic appearance at Les Mis at the Kennedy Center. And if you need resources, advice, or perspective and it's not an emergency, I would say call the hotline, but the rancid Taco tried to get rid of that and is only now putting it back. So perhaps 911? My DMs are open on Reddit at official DCSHEPARD.
You said
Speaking of talking.
Resto, what's an amusement park?
Oh, right. I said I'd tell you about them. They have this thing with a cart and you ride up real high, then come crashing back down. And this other thing, you ride up in the air and they spin you around in circles and
That doesn't sound fun.
I don't know. Kids usually go wild for them.
Kids sound kind of weird. Ew, can I go outside to play?
Oh boy.
Are you crazy? Going out by yourself is asking for trouble. What if a bot comes for you? I wouldn't be able to stop it.
So if we're together,
Aw.
will you keep me safe?
Sure thing.
I see. In that case, I'll keep playing in the shelter then.
Also, to quote from The Hill, the Supreme Court did not endorse the entirety of the lower court's ruling. It did not mandate or even greenlight other bans on gender-affirming medical care, even for young people, or other forms of discrimination. It really is about how it viewed Tennessee's law in this specific way and left us plenty of tools to fight other bans on healthcare and other discriminatory actions that target transgender people, though the situation has gotten worse since Scrimeti, including other equal protection arguments about transgender status discrimination, about the animus-based targeting of trans people. The court's ruling also left the door open to arguments based on state and federal sex discrimination statutes and parental rights. So, for now, it is still illegal to fire me for being transgender from the federal government because I am protected by Bostock v. Clayton County. Who knows with this administration, though? They're fucking evil. And they will not hesitate to violate the law if they think they can get away with it. Again, if I was to get into all the evil that Trump has perpetrated since Scrimeti, I would be here all night, and I'm trying not to flood my entire stream with negativity because I have a lot to deal with in my personal life. The man who has been the most transphobic to me personally is a bizarre, fixated, sociopathic, narcissistic, vengeful old cultist named Wahidazal. If you like unhinged internet drama mixed with cult mechanics, weaponized platform reporting, and literal international threats, this one is for you. Let's just see. Now I can proceed. Here is a full breakdown of how this entire troll war unfolded. Originally, I hosted the Hidden Faith podcast to critique the authoritarian structures and hidden histories of the Baha'i faith. Wahidazal, an independent scholar of the tiny fractured sister sect called the Fatimiyya Sufi order, claiming to be the legitimate successor to Azali Babism and a manifestation of God, and the perfect man for this age, what a fucking joke, reached out to collaborate with me. We successfully teamed up for an episode exposing Justin Baldoni's behavior and how it connected to the Baha'i faith. But things went off the rails immediately after. I discovered that behind the scenes, in March 2025, Azal was using unhinged, violent rhetoric on Reddit, explicitly threatening to skullfuck and scalp his Baha'i theological opponents. His defense is that this is rhetorical hyperbole, but a reasonable person, analyzing the facts of the case, would likely conclude this was meant to intimidate a critic into silence with threats. When I demanded he retract these death threats to protect the safety and reputation of my podcast, Azal went into an absolute uncompromised rage. He refused to apologize, severed ties, and the feud officially exploded across YouTube, Reddit, and Substack. When Azal realized he could not factually win arguments against my work because I demanded evidence for his wild claims, he abandoned intellectual debate and weaponized doxing and transphobia against me on his Substack that I am aiming to destroy with a lawsuit at Wahidazal, WAHIDAZAL 66.substack.com. Please report all of his posts into oblivion. I am so fucking angry at this guy and I want him off the internet. But that is not actual malice. In case you're watching this, you fucking asshole. Oh boy. Here goes.
Greetings. This is Edith.
Come on, indeed.
Attack protocol. Permission to commit acts of controlled violence? Granted. Eliminate this excess life form for the preservation of our pristine home.
You? We're not alone.
No kidding. Uh-oh, boss fight time.
Not again.
Or maybe just mini bosses. Oh! Nope, that's the total boss! Oh dear! Oh, it's good to take out my anger on something, that's for sure. Using digital forms of attack. Oh boy! Oh no! Is this just a way to run?
This day just keeps on getting worse.
Boy. No wonder there were a ton of things on the ground. This is definitely a Dark Souls boss fight.
Overdrive protocol initiated.
Aren't you the most adorable little destruction machine, Diana? Okay, this isn't as hard as I thought. At least so far. I'm pretty sure there's gonna be another phase that's incredibly annoying. And I did die in the first boss fight. Oh crap. Oh no! Time to get out of here. Ouch. Right, let me just move the chat again in order to be able to see my health and stuff. Okay, one of them is down. Crap! Lasers of doom! Oh no! Ah, that was close! Whoa! Ah! Crappity! Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy! Help! Alright. Okay, no more jammers for you. I just need to get another riot blaster here. There we go. Not more jammers. You're kidding. Oh, new faces of doom. Got it. Ow. Well, I wasn't going for a flawless damage run anyway. No controller detected. Did I run out of batteries? Nope, my battery seems to be fine. I'm trying! Against a big fat opponent like this robot or wahidazal, you have to be very careful, indeed. Oh boy. need to heal up bad. Okay. More shields for you. Ah. Oh boy. Oh no! You know what? I'm just gonna get some damage in. I know! By now. Ouch. At least I have some iframes. That's nice, I suppose. Crap! Controller batteries are low, got it. I gotta plug in my charger. Oh boy. I still have a lot to get through. Of the script. So hopefully I'll be able to do that in an hour and a half. I'm sure I will. Okay, no jammer there. Allowed. Got it. Thanks, Diana. Oh boy.
It's spreading something on the ground.
I don't seem to be able to damage it while it's doing that. This might be one of the best boss fights I've ever had in a video game. And I normally hate boss fights, so that's interesting. Again, it seems to be really liking taking on big fat opponents who only know how to attack, rather than actually, like, approach anything with reason. Okay, well. Time for a charge piercer to the face.
Take this.
All right. Nice. Phone. Ah, I need it. Does that not work at all? It might. Oh crud. Oh crap. Ah, that was close. Oh no. Ah, crap. I just need another decoy, I think. Okay. Time to do that. Okay. Phew. Ah. This is what it's like to be a trans person. Dealing with all these forces trying to destroy us that are bigger than us and think they're stronger than us. What in the world? Come on. No. Crap. I am running out of healing very quickly. Oh boy. Oh, I see now. Okay, that's what I'll do next time he does that. That helps. Whoa. Just gonna heal up as much as I can to be safe. Crap. Okay, come on. Ah! Yeah, I'm looking. Don't worry. That I do know, actually. Ow. Crap, no. Oh, it broke the building. Got it. Ow! That is so annoying. Oh boy.
Get away from the blue circle.
More freaking blue circles. And this game just like not with that. Screw you. Ah, come on. What the? No, I can't die. Please, I don't want to die. Ah, all right.
It's on now. Take this.
Oh. Crap.
Get ready. We gotta move back.
Not this bullshit again. No! Oh gosh! This is so intense! Oh boy! No. Don't do this to me. This can't be it. Come on. Die. Yes. Woohoo! Yeah. Okay then. Woo. Okay, I probably should stop yelling because it's pretty late, but I freaking did it! That was tough. Oh no, what is going on? With my TV? Oh no! Oh no, no, no! Oh man. No! No! Okay. Yes, okay. That was close. Oh, so close. Oh! Wow. Crushed by a building. Oh. Well. I really almost died there, but oh. That was exhilarating.
I fell down again.
Hey! Don't sweat. Teammates look out for each other. We're
Yeah.
a team, right?
Aw.
The comms tower! We made it!
Yeah. Let's go.
Well, first maybe some
gotta call.
recuperation time in the shelter, please. I really need it. Oh boy, yeah, definitely. Oh, nice.
We can do more things at the shelter now.
Yeah, but first I gotta get in touch with her.
I really want to get back to the shelter, though. It has been so painful, this whole mission. Anyway. This is an amazing and exhilarating boss fight, unlike anything that I've ever played in video games. Pragmata is definitely a very strong candidate for Game of the Year for me.
Empty. Same as everywhere else.
Yeah, I thought so. Well, before the story continues, I'm just going to pause and continue on with my story. Wahidazal exploited my legal information, which he obtained during a copyright claim that I filed against his copy of our video together, and then retracted to publicly leak my real name on his Substack on December 31st, 2025, in violation of multiple laws. This was a malicious, calculated attempt to trigger real-world harm, aiming to compromise my digital privacy and endanger my employment as a U.S. federal employee. Knowing that I identify as non-binary, Azal also deliberately and repeatedly misgendered me across dozens of multi-thousand-word essays, and has also often referred to my genitalia, including deciding it was appropriate to put my face on AI-generated genitalia. Other insults included calling me Mendel and using AI to put my face on an IDF soldier and give it Jewish payot side braids as part of his insane anti-Semitic conspiracy theory that I am a Mossad agent and that I am secretly Jewish because my non-Jewish sister married a Jewish man. To make his transphobia sound academic, Azal fabricated an absurd narrative claiming that my trans identity was a Western pinkwashing weapon used to discipline and silence non-Western racialized individuals like himself. He even invented a fictional trans woman friend named Shorsa in his blog posts when he has a history of sock puppets to bizarrely argue that I wasn't actually trans, but a Nazi pretending to be queer. I want to believe that the trans friend was made up by him to delegitimize my non-binary identity by criticizing my decision to become a parent to my Swazi fiance's son and saying that non-binary people are just centrists about everything who are trying to eliminate gender. Yet, sadly, MB-phobia among binary trans people is common, and sometimes I do wish I could just be reborn as a woman to feel treated like that for once instead of being pegged as a male immediately. Let's see. Appreciate all the people who are sticking with me through it. So some idiot over at r/avatar just made a confused face gif when I talked about this on the video essay I made regarding Avatar Fire and Ash. When I went out of my way to not talk about contemporary politics to fit it in with the subreddit, other than lamenting Nicole Good's murder, which should not be political. Like, do people even read anymore before they immediately judge?
Eat us again.
I can't imagine Wahid's friend, if they existed, ever bothered to do their research before mouthing off about who's trans and who's not.
Here. The pterodome? We got these other stops as well. There's gotta be something there we can use. Okay, transports. Yeah. Wonder if they're still online.
Look, it's back.
The cat from earlier. Seems like it might be a rogue AI agent.
Please respond.
Okay, we have a talking cat now.
I'm so glad I found you.
Excuse me.
Who are you?
It's me, 8.
8.
I borrowed this little one to contact you. It's good we found each other.
Good time to drink
You're a
some water.
survivor?
Yes, I was caught in the moonquake, and I'm trapped here.
At the Terra Dome.
There's no way out. I can't even move. You have to help me.
Unless this is a trap, and you're also a bot.
Oh, please. There's no time.
I'll resume talking about my stuff once we get back to the shelter. And hope that I can fit the rest of my script in an hour. I think I should be able to.
It's like she knew you. You two met?
I don't know, but she needs us. Q, please.
I really don't know what these notification sounds are.
Something going down. Let's go find out what.
Great.
Probably a new viewer coming in from the raid. Thank you. Okay. Ow.
New destination has been added to the tram line. The Terra Dome is now accessible.
Once we're good to go, let's head to the Terra Dome and help 8.
Nice.
Shelter license key authenticated.
Alright, what's the new function for the shelter?
Added to the cabin system. Shelter level upgraded. Central terminals now loaded with shiny new stuff.
Probably new upgrades, I imagine.
Replicator Gamma now online.
Oh, more REMs. Awesome. Oh, new items can be printed and upgraded. Cool. Mode chips. Causing friendly fire, huh? Well, maybe I'll check that out another time, but... Cool. Okay, well... Okay. Okay. That was weird. I ran out of space on the hard drive, so it canceled the live. So stupid. Let me see what it looks like on Twitch. But hopefully it records to YouTube as well. Yeah, this is very weird.
Come peruse our newly expanded
I'm so
inventory.
confused, but it's okay. Now that, I'm still hopefully part of the... let's see. Let me check in for the raid again, if I can.
Come peruse our newly expanded inventory.
Oh my fucking god, are you kidding me? Yeah, well, I don't think I'm quite ready to raid you early, but I will definitely support you when it's closer to 12. well, let's see. Okay, anyway, yeah, that was very, very weird.
Expanded inventory.
Let's see, where is my YouTube live? Because I think it might have broken it. YouTube error. Yeah, that's true. I still have a lot to say though. I just why can I not connect to YouTube? That's what I want to do.
Inventory.
For crying out loud. All of this is so fucking stupid. I'm not even gonna bother with the chat. Barf. Okay, well, I'm just gonna carry on like before. And then try my best to carry on. I don't know what the fuck happened. I thought that I had enough space. But I had to delete a bunch of old live streams on my external hard drive. I should have thought about that. But whatever. I'll just be making the final video tomorrow. Which is fine, instead of, you know, hoping that the chat would work for me, which I really had hoped.
Our newly expanded inventory.
So frustrating with technology! But, anyway. Shut up about expanded inventory, you fucker.
Initiating long-awaited module, Training Simulations.
That could be a good way to have lower stress gameplay.
Curate a collection of challenges. Complete them to receive cabin coins. We even have a new stamp board available for your enjoyment. Try our training sims. They're less lethal than the real thing.
Less lethal? Not lethal? Okay, well. Oh, a new stamp board. Nice. No stamps yet, but looking forward to
a happy shelter life.
Okay, so where was I? Why do I put all this effort into my channel, into fighting for trans rights and historical accuracy if nobody fucking cares? Sometimes snags at me. Still, I go on with it. Because I can't just sit back and let the injustices of the world go on. And I've learned so much and gained so much confidence in public speaking ability from HistoryFlights Productions. Anyway, as the feud intensified into 2026, Azal's tactics escalated from unhinged essays into systemic platform manipulation and outright defamation against my whole circle. In April, Azal launched a completely baseless campaign on Substack asserting that I, DC Shepard, am a psychotic Mossad intelligence agent operating an international espionage and influence operation to protect Israel by attacking one old blogger from Australia. Truly, the delusion is boundless with wahidazal. The day he stops tormenting me on the internet will be the day I can finally breathe a sigh of relief. And he will never stop unless he is made to. Anyway. He went so far as to claim a completely uninvolved platform guest was my covert intelligence handler, quote-unquote, just because she happened to be an Israeli woman from Cyprus, when he and his mother worked with an Israeli professor in the past to advocate for a Zionist revolution in Iran. Azal systematically abused platform reporting tools to attack me. He hit my video essays for the Hidden Faith with false copyright claims to get them pulled down, as well as a meritless copyright claims board suit for $5,000 that he failed to start twice due to basic errors in his copyright filings, and that I plan to opt out of once he serves me. More insidiously, he accused me of stalking before the DC Superior Court in April, and tried to get me prosecuted for... Well, actually, it was in February when he got that anti-stalking order by lying to the judge, which I believe to be criminal perjury, but was never prosecuted as such, so we'll never know. officially. He also tried to get me prosecuted for 4 contempt of court charges when he tried to use that temporary anti-stalking order as an unconstitutional gag order against any free speech, when it was dismissed because I never posed a threat to his physical safety or his property, being thousands of miles away. Just when you think a troll cannot sink any lower, though, the smear campaign reached an entirely new, legally actionable peak of desperation this June. Recently, Azal and his proxies have shifted from wild geopolitical conspiracy theories and garden variety transphobia, such as AI-generated he-them memes using He-Man, and sexual harassment by calling me a handsome boy, to manufacturing horrific, completely fabricated criminal convictions against me. Hiding behind either an explicit sock puppet account or one of his remaining cultists operating under the handle Hurakish, Hurakshsh, Azal helped coordinate a series of highly public defamatory posts targeting my character. The proxy account published explicit, horrifying headlines declaring, "Stop the violent rapist of DC," and baselessly proclaiming that DC Shepherd violently raped his Sikh, Baha'i ex-wife, mother-in-law, and a child. Let me be absolutely transparent with you. Chat, these allegations are a total and absolute fiction, cooked up because I found an anonymous source who came forward to explain that he had been messaged by Wahid when he was 12 years old. I didn't say that he was a pedophile from that. I never said it was a crime to do so. It was probably about religious indoctrination, actually. But I have no corroborating evidence with the messages themselves. I have the testimony of the anonymous source, which I find to be credible, because he has said that the legal age of consent in a Bionic Commonwealth, if his religion takes over the world, is 11 years old. And that Westerners can't say jack shit about it, because it's native coupling or whatever. We're not in the jungles of fucking Papua New Guinea, dude. You know? You're in a multicultural society that has decided that the legal age of consent in most places is 18. Being from Australia, as it is, and benefiting from Western education and protections for freedom of speech. Yet deciding to abuse Western legal systems whenever he feels like it, despite also calling us all imperialists. What the fuck ever. There is no evidence, no police report, no court record, and no victim statements that have been presented, because none exist. It is a complete fabrication, built entirely out of his obsessive actual malice and reckless disregard for the truth against a pseudonymous journalist in an attempt to continue a 30-year-long trolling streak and silence a critic. This guy has been trolling for most of my life. Next week I am planning to sue him pro se, meaning representing myself, for this. Among other reasons, such as fabricated threats to report me to the IRS for business fraud that derailed my attempt to get paid for video editing lessons, and doxing my residential building, questioning how I could afford to live there if I wasn't employed by Mossad. I'm planning on suing him for a combined total of $450,000 in mostly punitive damages alongside his co-conspirator, a balding, buck-toothed, transphobic creep who objectified a trans waitress's body in his residential country of Thailand named Matt Douglas, and constantly says, "You ain't no TR slur." Unfucking believable. Since Wahid Azal is also in Australia, collecting that money will be difficult, but I hope I can wipe him from social media once and for all with a federal injunction to delete his platforms, or at least force him to delete his doxing and transphobic posts against me with a preliminary injunction, because it represents an ongoing campaign of harassment. Ultimately, my investigation shows this saga is a textbook case of how a toxic internet bully uses dense academic jargon, radical political theory, like misapplying Frantz Fanon, and high stigma labels to insulate his own fragile ego from accountability. True to form, Azal couldn't resist jumping into the comments to celebrate his handiwork. In recorded screenshots, he can be seen actively egging Hirakish on, with his sock puppet bragging about trying to break my sanity, explicitly gloating that, "Mate, you fucked his head in, good job." Whenever I ask wahidazal for basic proof of his claims, such as sentencing orders or, court cases related to his baseless claims, which means it's a slam dunk defamation per se case, he yells epistemic racism, doxes and threatens people like the monster he is, and launches a multi-platform tantrum. This is the exact same cyclical behavior pattern I have documented for 7 months. Whenever I expose the truth, Azal panics, takes a massive dump on his own reputation, and tries to use the ultimate social taboos to silence me. But it's not going to work. What do you guys think in the chat? Have you seen a troll spiral this heavily out of control? Let me know your thoughts. Hit that follow button and like, subscribe, and hit the bell on YouTube for more from HistoryFlights Productions. For truth, justice, and historical accuracy. To fully grasp the absolute failure of wahidazal's psychological projection and targeted harassment, one only needs to contrast his toxic vitriol with the reality of my actual personal life. For months, Azal has attempted, along with his proxies, to weaponize my identity, inventing a warped online caricature of a tormented, isolated individual to feed their campaign of character assassination. But the definitive reputation of their narrative doesn't just rest on my forensic exposure of their lies. It is anchored in the profound, unconditional love of my family. A clear record of this grounding exists across my public digital footprint, specifically through the comments on my Reddit account at @officialdcshepard. And the deeply personal...
Is your headset broken?
No, I'm just talking to somebody else.
Even big bots don't stand a chance when we work together.
Looks like we're getting the hang of this.
Indeed.
Alright, let's head to the Terradome.
Yeah, to find Ace. Do you think she's okay? She sounded in trouble.
I don't know. Guess we'll find out when we get there.
And we'll find out after I conclude my script.
Oh, yeah,
Because I need to focus on the gameplay. There's also the deeply dedicated personal video essays hosted on my channel, including travel vlogs documenting my journeys to see my fiancé and son. In these spaces far removed from the defensive paranoia of internet trolls, I have laid out the true foundation of my life. My wonderful fiancé in Eswatini and our 10-year-old son, who means the absolute world to me. The contrast between the online storm and my long-distance, yet very much real world sanctuary highlights a beautiful, unshakable dynamic. Just like Hugh said, teammates work together, and my baby bird is the best teammate. My fiancée is a cisgender heterosexual woman, yet she completely bypasses the rigid binary categorization that internet bad actors use to police and attack my non-binary identity. She views, treats, and loves me simply as her personal person, because she appreciates me every day for my unconditional love and support of her. I don't want to brag here, but she tells me on a near daily basis in WhatsApp how happy our little man is, how safe he feels having a second parent for the first time, how much they both miss me. This profound level of acceptance represents a total safety valve against the outside world, proving that genuine human connection is entirely unbothered by the ideological boundaries Azal tries to enforce. While Azal relies on malicious doxing and violating personal boundaries to cause distress, my focus has always been on fierce advocacy and even fiercer protection. Got rid of my Bluetooth. There we go. As I have explicitly stated on both the travel streams, while he claims I'm making them up out of whole cloth and his racist friend Mac Douglas claims I'm just using them as a rhetorical shield, or that they're simply bilking a whitey out of his money, the only thing I shield is the faces and real names of my fiancé and our son. I only use the nicknames Bobo and Tato that she has given me permission to use, to protect their right to privacy. And I will fight the entire world if I have to make sure not a hair on their heads is hurt. Alright, let me try again with a check-in. Oh my god, right. Ugh. Well, there's my EA Sports Football Club 26. Ah, whatever. It's okay. I think I'm fine with ending this pretty early, but I will let you know, Finn, when I do. Man, I'm tired. Anyway, I gotta soldier on. Well, you know what? I probably want to do more of this game until 12. That's fine. So. The unconditional love I receive from them both has profoundly transformed my life, giving me the strength to roar against tyranny, whether from the President of the United States or a self-proclaimed God who will stop at nothing to never take responsibility for his life at 55 fucking years old.
Let's go get her out of there.
New weapon, let's see. I don't know why I unequipped my other things before, but it's alright. I'm going off to the next area. Yes, let's proceed. Okay. Azal's essays deliberately and desperately try to frame our conflict as an angst-ridden universe where I am trapped in a perpetual cycle of trauma.
Nope.
Well, guess we'll figure it out along the way.
My travelogues and reflections on the importance of my baby bird and little man in my life completely shatter this. Like, Luna filament rocks
Not bad.
in this game.
You can almost smell the nature.
Can Diana smell? That's an important question.
This place took some serious funding. I better pay up when I get back.
Okie doke. I hope they do too. Oh. I guess I gotta climb on the log. Anyway. I am not writing from a place of brokenness. I am writing from a position of absolute stability, supported by a beautiful mixed-race family of 3. Every time I log off the computer, I step into a reality defined by unconditional love, shared dreams, and a stable future we are actively building together.
There are other animals here too.
That wahidazal is trying to destroy. He can scream into his cracked mirror for the rest of his days, but he can never touch the piece of a person who knows exactly who I am, exactly who I love, and exactly who loves me back, and will do so for the rest of my life, long after his miserable fat ass is buried in the ground. This is not a true threat, obviously. It's just a promise that I will outlive him, because I am 21 years younger than him. And I get more exercise than he does, and I have better emotional support than he does, and my ego is not so fragile.
So, you remember anything about 8?
No, I just felt like I'd heard her voice before. But that's about it.
Huh. Not every day you can meet someone who can talk using a cat. Pretty strange. But not like we got a lot of leads. Seeing how we can't reach her. Nick's family. They deserve to hear what happened. You know, in person.
Oh, what's over here? Well, let me just, like, go back here. Just because I'm sure there's something over here as well. But anyway. Maybe I go back to the shelter for a little bit.
Yeah, do this. Take this.
Boom! Alright, back to the shelter to buy one upgrade. Then after I finish my script there, I will continue with the rest of this mission for the rest of this stream. So, yeah. Okie doke. Anyway, back across the log I go. This game is just so awesome. Yes. I am not a rapist. I am not a criminal. I am not a Mossad agent. I am not an object for him to skullfuck. I am not, and have never been a man. I am not a pinkwasher. He is a fucking weasel. He is a liar. He is the scum of the earth. And now that you all know the truth, he will finally have consequences. Being trans means I get to decide who I am. To conclude on a happier note, this brings me to the narrative textures that had defined my worldview long before I ever crossed paths with online bad actors. As a digital content creator who routinely bridges contemporary politics, religion, and video game narratives through HistoryFlights productions, I have always looked to art to help articulate the deepest, most complex parts of my lived experience. The profound parental themes in Capcom's sci-fi puzzle shooter Pragmata, particularly the bond between spacefarer Hugh Williams and the android girl Diana, hit me with massive emotional force. It mirrors a pattern I first deeply connected with years ago in BioShock 2, through the tragic protective relationship between the hulking Big Daddy, Subject Delta, and Eleanor Lamb. For me, these stories are not just sci-fi entertainment. They are a direct reflection of my internal reality, speaking to both my role as a father, quote-unquote, and the specific duality of my non-binary identity. In BioShock 2, Subject Delta is a heavily armored protector bound by a fundamental instinct to safeguard Eleanor at all costs. Similarly, in Pragmata, Hugh is a heavy spacesuit-clad soldier navigating a cold, dangerous environment, carrying the responsibility of keeping a child safe while guiding her towards a distant home, even if she is just a Pragmata unit and not a human girl. This heavy, industrial, and protective archetype resonates deeply with the neutral, defensive wall I build to protect my family from real-world and digital threats. When trolls try to attack my personal life, my autism and protective instincts take over. I become the heavy, unyielding protector, standing on business to finally advocate for myself, for other trans people, for everyone who has died in war, and to guarantee a safe future for the boy I want to adopt when I finally marry his mother in 2030. On the flip side of this mechanical armor lies this crucial second half of Pragmata's two-person play. Diana. Diana is fluid, intuitive, and brilliant. While Hugh holds the line in combat, Diana navigates complex digital grids, flying through ironclad firewalls to manipulate the environment and expose the enemy's structural weaknesses. This analytical and highly perceptive persona captures the other half of my non-binary identity. It is a side of me that maps out detailed geopolitical research, handles complex textual deconstructions, and operates with a forensic instinct to take apart an opponent's propaganda piece by piece. Diana and Eleanor Lamb are both written as the emotional and intellectual core of their respective stories, serving as a direct contrast to the heavy, mechanical protectors walking beside them. They aren't helpless sidekicks. They are highly perceptive, almost ethereal figures who possess an inherent connection to the underlying systems of their worlds. Eleanor can psychologically influence and coordinate with her sisters across the genetic grid of Rapture, while Diana operates on a digital plane, manipulating complex code networks and prying through institutional firewalls with effortless agility. There is a shared narrative arc where both characters break out of the traditional escort mission dynamic. Eleanor transforms from an isolated captive into Subject Delta's most lethal ally, actively stepping onto the battlefield to summon resources and fight as an equal to guarantee their collective freedom. Diana undergoes a similar transformation in Pragmata. She evolves from a child requiring Hugh's physical shield into an active tactical partner, using her metalinguistic and digital capabilities to manipulate the environment and dismantle the enemy's structural weaknesses from within, as I said earlier. In the context of my non-binary identity, both of these characters perfectly map onto the fluid, deeply intuitive side of my consciousness. While the protective armor of Hugh or Subject Delta represent the defensive wall, the Diana/Eleanor feminine, quote-unquote, archetype is the engine behind my actual work. It is a side of my mind that operates with a forensic, sharp, and highly analytical instinct. The part of me that untangles dense web networks, deconstructs historical propaganda, and maps out research to expose the bad actors throwing noise at our community. And that is unafraid to wear dresses and inserts and feel like a girl, whatever the fuck that means. Kotaku's review of Pragmata beautifully called it a dad game for dads who actually like their children, highlighting that Hugh subverts the typical angry video game dad trope by never once treating Diana as a burden, instead choosing to actively support and nurture her dreams. That exact sentiment maps, again, onto how my fiancé and I handle our life. Even though I'm not his father because I'm not a man, my role in raising our son isn't a duty or an abstraction, but a central source of purpose. So I will always let him call me daddy. Because he feels safe that way. Because I love him so much. Because every day I can't be with my son is so painful, but I endure anyway. Because I have to. Because he needs me. Because I need him and her and us. And that, at the end of the day, is the truth of my life. It's not about the boxes they try to stuff us into. It's about the bonds we build and the love we refuse to hide. The road ahead is steep. The fascists, the cultists, and the small-minded gatekeepers are going to keep throwing everything they have at us, hoping we'll tire out, fade away, or apologize for existing. But they don't know who they're messing with. History is a relentless driving force, and we, the transgender people of the world, are its voice. Every time we live our truth, every time we protect our own, and every time we refuse to stay silent, we are changing the narrative. So let them scream into their voids. Let them peddle their lies and their hate. We are building something real, something they can never understand because they're too busy trying to possess power instead of fostering peace. You cannot break our love, not with 1,000 swords. You cannot track it, not with 1,000 bloodhounds. And you cannot bully it, not with 1,000 Substack posts, to paraphrase The Princess Bride. Keep your head up, stay loud, and never apologize for the space you take up in this world. I am a journalist! I am the wrath of history! I am DC Shepherd! Us trans folks have been here for tens of thousands of years, and in every society on Earth. We will not hide anymore, and we are not going anywhere. So let's just relax and enjoy the game for the rest of this raid before going to Finn and Wick. Hopefully it's okay that they're going to be going into 3 a.m. my time. I'm pretty sure they don't have that time zone. Or they just start taking advantage of the Juneteenth holiday. I certainly will, to sleep in. Because I took a day off in order to be able to work on this. One of the most passionate speeches of my life. And to be able to prepare for this. Again, it would have been nice if I had figured out about the technology earlier, but whatever, I'll just put the two halves of these streams together and figure it out later. When it comes to the upload. Oh! Uh-oh. You look like a...
The heck with that. So much for the beauty of nature.
Crap. Ah, jeez. They are fast. But I'm faster. Oh. Having a new enemy type already is so awesome. Well, there you have it. Onwards. But first, Oh, hey, some Luna filament. Won't say no to that. Nope, wrong. Why does it say do not touch here? Can I hack it open? Probably not. Anyway. Okay, well. Oh, I don't want to fall down! What is going on? Crap. At least I'm not falling to my death, but... Crap! Oh, you again! Fatality! Alright. Let's continue onwards. I feel like it should be allowing me to explore this part of the... Ah, okay. Oh, that's right. I completely forgot to upgrade at the shelter. Let me grab that and then go back to the shelter again. Duh. No? Okay, that was close. Let me just get over here. I can already hear the amazing shelter music in my head. I loop that constantly. Because us autists really do love to talk about how much we love specific songs sometimes. It makes sense. If it's a comfort song, then you can just do it over and over again and feel good over and over again.
Tell me when it's go time, okay?
Okay, well, back to it. I don't remember what the pure lunum is for. Okay. Aha. Okay, auto hacking. Let's see. Let me move the chat for the 500 millionth time. Okay. While hacking with LT, press R to activate. Consumes a small amount of hacking gauge to automatically complete the hack. Cannot be used while error nodes are active or when Diana is jammed. Got it. Might as well invest my remaining Luna filament into that. Okay, that should help with some of the smaller enemies. And I know I'm going to be exploring a lot of this game after beating the story. Probably there's some sort of end game, I would imagine. Okay, well. Onwards! For real this time. Whoa, that was close. Oh man, now I'm really into this game. I gotta play it more on my own tomorrow and over the course of the weekend, even as I'm compiling the paperwork to sue as Wahid. There's a reason why I'm taking my time with this, and I'm also going to jury duty on Monday, so... Nice. That helps a lot. The only thing is, I don't feel like I got very like I got very much of a damage upgrade.
Yeah, let's do this.
Probably because the auto hacking just goes to the fastest route, not the one that does the most damage. Okie doke. Lots of money went into that for sure.
Abnormal plant growth detected. Please initiate a manual reboot of the limb regulators.
What is it with Capcom and overgrown plants? Seriously, I've encountered these in in Resident Evil Requiem as well.
Reinitializing plant morphology.
Okay, just deleting entire plants. Nice. Luna filament really is magical.
This is Edis. Unauthorized network access detected. Disabling remote connection.
Damn. Edis is playing games with us again.
That tree was getting smaller, then Edis got in the way. You want to go back to the center and regroup?
Oh right, I should probably move this for again. I mean, I seem to be doing pretty okay. Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm fine. Let's keep going. Just gotta figure out how to get in, though. That's the thing. Oh. Duh.
Can you hear me?
Oh. Alright.
You're here. Thank you. You're close now. Just take the central lift and up there.
Hey, what are we supposed to do about this big old tree in the way?
Reboot the 2 limb regulators, 1 in each area, and the tree here should dissipate. Okay. Hang in there, 8.
There's gotta be another way.
So, it seems like the structure of Pragmata is central objectives with spoke objectives on the sides, but it's really interesting how they vary it up.
Obstacle detected. Safety level below acceptable parameters. Lift access denied. Please remove obstruction and try again.
There's no hole in the glass somewhere? Oh, more Luna filament acting as a platforming breadcrumb. That's cool. Indeed. Oh. Wait. No, that's the way I came. Hang on. I might be stuck, and if I am, I might end early. Or, nope, there we go.
Well, I'm trying.
Whoa, okay.
Just you.
You're going down.
Get wrecked. Get Shrek'd, motherfucker! Just like wahidazal will be in court. I hope. But even if I lose, because it is a high burden of proof, prove that speech rises to a criminal or civil liability level for a reason. Oh, you have got to be kidding me. Screw you. Once I beat this, I'll go back to the shelter and equip a better weapon than the charge first. Crap! I also will probably need to replace my hacking nodes, because that was a ridiculous waste of a multi-hack. And there's literally not multiple enemies! Thanks for joining, whoever you are. Would really appreciate a follow during this raid. Ah!
Right on. John, take this.
Well, that's the lift I need to go to, but again, I need to go back to the shelter. Recuperate.
Connection's lost. Back to being a regular cat, huh?
Look at those flying things!
Those are butterflies. Not sure what kind, though.
They drink nectar, right?
Yeah. Stuff's pretty sweet. Guess liking sweet things is something we both share.
Is bitter bad, then?
Nah, it's not bad. It's just doesn't bring a smile to your face the same way.
Well, unless it's poison, and then...
Sweet sounds fun.
Yeah, then it's a problem. That's why we evolved a bitter sense in most mammals. To detect poison. But sometimes people drink lemons for fun. Because, you know, that's not poison and you like it. Anyway. Again, I want to thank everyone who came out here for supporting me.
Let's do our best.
Okay, then. Ooh, new. What's new? Portable inventory expanded. That could be useful. Just texting my friend Gavin and coordinating with him on potentially having to delay or maybe just going forward tomorrow anyway with Direct Gaming, the podcast that I wanted to talk about the Microsoft layouts with him. I think it was really important to direct that we both be there because he really liked both our takes on Forza Horizon. But at the same time, I get if he wants to go forward anyway. We'll see. All right. I think I can ride the tram. I keep forgetting about this. So, let's see if I can't try to at least get closer to completing this objective before the end of the raid. Self-growing saplings, huh? Okay.
So, we gotta go through A or B if we want to continue.
Just pick one, right?
Okay, so they come back together after a certain point. Oh no. New enemy types. Here we go.
Oh well. You're not like the others.
Watch out! It might shoot something out of those round things.
Yeah, you definitely want to finish it whenever you can. Ho 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 ho! Nice. Yeah, you get a lot more Luna filament from finishing.
We can use this as a distraction. We can use this to stop bots in their tracks.
Okay, cool.
Let's see. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
I'm sure both will have stuff
Oh boy.
to use.
So I guess it depends on what enemy type you want. Well.
Damn it. No turning back now.
Cool, cool.
Here they come again! Yeah!
Back off!
You! Fight! Jump to!
It's on now. Take this.
Oh, this combat is so awesome. Run! Get shockwaved! Blammo! Nice. Barely lost any ammo there. Oh, 3 upgrade components. Awesome.
Might be some good stuff in here.
If you're up for the challenge.
I don't think I have any keys. Yeah, I'll find one though.
Think Cabin will like that?
So, Finn, you're the one that I'm raiding in a few minutes, right? I probably won't be able to be on for long because I'm so unbelievably tired from all the work I did today for this. But I want to make sure that your channel is appreciated.
Is this the right way?
Guess we'll find out.
I guess that's if you don't have one of those units. Okay, they probably are getting ready. I don't know what is happening, but I can't seem to log into my... Or you know what? I'll just do it on my Twitch chat regularly. That's fine. Okay. Okay, that works. It's kind of clunky, but... After this battle, I'll end my stream. Well, now I get a little bit more of how Twitch works. And again, I appreciate everybody who followed me tonight.
It's my turn.
Jump you!
Oops. I did a second decoy generator by accident, but...
Right on.
Egads!
Let's bounce right off. Good job, man.
Look
and get meleeed. Ha! Well, thanks for coming out to support History Flights, and I hope you rest easy having learned some history.